Hello and welcome to the 9th and final stop in our virtual Whistle Stop Tour series. My name is Nikki Johnson, Executive Director of the North Carolina Small Grain Growers Association, and we are happy to have you watching us today from the comfort of your own home. Today we are filming in Union County at Baucom Family Farms. Today's topics will include wheat varieties and plant growth regulators. So sit back, enjoy, relax, and we hope that you find today's video informative and educational. As we come to a close in the Whistle Stop Tour series, we hope you've enjoyed following us across the state, seeing locations that you normally wouldn't see. We know this year was a little different. You couldn't actually be out in the field with us, but we hope you've enjoyed these educational videos and that they were helpful for your farming operation. I want to thank Dr. Angela Post for all of her efforts making these field days possible with the filming, the editing. It's a lot of hard work, so we just really want to thank her and her team for making these videos possible. If you've missed any of the Whistle Stop tours or you want to go back and watch them, they'll all be uploaded on our website at ncwheat.com. Also, if you would like to be included on our weekly publication called The Wheat Beat for the latest in small grains news, please visit our website, our contact page, email me, and I will be happy to include you on our distribution list. And lastly, I would just like to say thank you to all the farmers out there for what you're doing right now, each and every day, working so hard to provide food for not only our country, but the whole world. We thank you for your commitment to agriculture and all that you do every day. We appreciate everything you do. Thank you.
All right, good morning everyone. My name is Andrew Baucom. I'm the County Director and Field Crops Agent here in Union County. We're here today in kind of northeastern Union County for the Small Grains Whistle Stop Tour. And we're very excited to have everyone here today. We have a great wheat crop here in Union County. Overall, Union County is one of the largest ag counties in the state, and we're traditionally third overall largest. We have top products in corn, soybeans, and wheat. We're a very grain-heavy producing county of the state. And this field here is no exception in our grower. Baucom Family Farms is a fantastic grower in the county as well as the state. They do a tremendous job with grain production and wheat production here specifically. The Union County Extension Office is located in Wingate on Highway 74. We have an event center there as well as our agent staff. We focus on obviously agriculture with consumer and commercial horticulture. We focus on small farms, farmers markets, urban forestry, obviously commercial ag, and livestock. We are a large livestock producing county in the state. We actually have the largest horse population of any county in the state, and we're also ranked 10th in cattle production. We have a lot of quality sales and auction facilities in this county and surrounding counties that our growers are able to sell to. We also have the #1 graded sheep and goat sale in the state, and we're very excited to partner with the Union County Sale Barn on a lot of our extension activities. We do have a large extension staff here in the office, and we're actually just recently hired a new field crops agent, and so we're excited to have Miss Michaela Graham starting next month. Here in Union County, we're very thankful for the North Carolina Small Grain Growers Association. We have a long, rich history of board members on that group. Right now we have Cameron Simpson with Simpson Family Farms, as well as Andrew Gardner, who is a industry rep for Pioneer. And over the course of several years, we've had a lot of board members, and we've had a lot of tremendous support financially, resource-wise, and just overall in general from the Growers Association. So we'd like to thank them for everything they do for us here in Union County, the support they give to our growers in the county as well as the state. So thank you guys for being here, and we look forward to a great day.
Good morning everyone. My name is Dave Russell from Baucom Family Farms. This farm's covers 5 or 6 different counties. We're running between 10,000 and 10,500 acres this year, corn, wheat, soybeans, and a little bit of cotton. focusing heavily on the grains this year due to markets. Crops are looking pretty good this year, even in a trying year. Agriculture is moving along good. We have high hopes for good yields this year and higher hopes for good prices at the end of the year. Baucom Family Farms is proud to be a leading producer in this county and in this state. We all on the farm enjoy what we do and take great pleasure in providing food and resources for the county, the state, and the country.
Good morning, my name is Taylor Perucker and I'm a graduate assistant under Dr. Angela Post at North Carolina State University. And I'm standing out in a wheat field today and we're nearing harvest. In a couple weeks these plants are going to start to dry down. But one of the issues with that is that as the plants start to dry down, they lose some of their stem strength. And as some of these summer storms roll in, the high winds can actually push the wheat over on the ground, otherwise known as lodging. And some of the problems with that is that when the wheat lodges, it can stay laying on the ground, which is difficult to cut and harvest with the combine, but it can also increase the moisture down in the canopy, which means that a grower might have to wait a few days to harvest his wheat, but it also means that it can reduce some grain quality. Now, one way that growers can manage this is by applying a plant growth regulator, or a PGR. And the way that PGRs are designed is that they reduce plant height by decreasing the interdot length, so it lowers the center of gravity of the wheat, but they can also increase stem diameter and stem thickness, which all work together to help increase stem strength and mitigate some of the risks from adverse weather conditions. So for example, we're standing out in a PGR plot, and this plot over here had a PGR applied at tillering, so it was still fairly early. And what we're seeing is that there's no real height differences compared to our untreated check. But over here, when we applied a PGR at jointing or at GS30, we see a little bit of a height difference. So here in Union County, we see about 2 or 3 inches of a lower height. And in our other study in Beaufort County, we see a height difference of up to 8 inches, where a PGR was applied at GS30 has a lower height. And when the winds come through, some of the taller varieties where maybe a PGR was applied too early or wasn't applied at all actually moves a lot more with the wind. Whereas when a PGR was applied at GS30 or at jointing, the smaller plants don't move as much in the wind and therefore have less of a risk of lodging. And typically where we see most of our lodging are in areas where wheat is starting to dry down. Like I said, it loses some of its stem strength. And it also occurs in some taller varieties that have a higher center of gravity, that blow around more in the wind. And it can also occur in some varieties where there may be some stem splitting from earlier freeze events. So another area that we might see a benefit from a PGR is in intensive managed systems, where a higher seeding rate might be used or a higher nitrogen application. But one of the important things to remember is that a PGR is more of a risk-adverse tool that may not necessarily increase yield, but what it does is it protects the yield that we have there from laying on the ground and not being able to be harvested.
We're out here at the Union OVT small grain site looking at the official variety tests that we have out here this year. We have 2 tests at Union this year. The commercial test, which has 57 entries in it, about a half of which are either in their first or second year of being in the test. And then we have an experimental test, which has about 40 lines in it, consisting of experimental lines from both universities and from private industry. This test was planted on November 21st. When we planted, we put out Anthem Flex as a pre for herbicide control, along with 45 units of nitrogen. We then followed that up with another 30 units of nitrogen in late January, and top dressed this entire site with 75 total units of nitrogen back in late February. That gave us a total of 150 total units of nitrogen for this location, not including the residual nitrogen that we have from the chicken litter that was put out here earlier. So we're going to talk about the varieties that we have out here in the commercial tests and look at lines that have some really good yield potentials this year. First, I want to start out with the recommended lines that you would have gotten from us if you had called for wheat selections last year. There are 5 lines in general that we recommended out to growers: AgriMax 415, Cropland 8550, Cropland 9606, Virginia Tech Hilliard, and USG 3118. So let's talk about 3 of those lines that we have out here. Cropland 9606 has been a really high yielding line for us for the last 3 years. It's been top yield group in the 3-year table, the 2-year table, and the 1-year table. Has good resistance to leaf rust, but some susceptibility to powdery mildew and especially to head scab. That's its watchouts. Hilliard has been a strong line. Top yield group in both the 3-year table and the 2-year table. Again, some susceptibility to head scab, but good resistance to both powdery mildew and leaf rust. And then USG 3118, which is a fairly new line. It's only been in test 2 years, but it's been top yield group, 2-year table and 1-year table, again with some susceptibility to the head scab. Those lines are looking pretty good out here. I think they've got some good yield potentials, but I think we have some other lines that we can look at as well. Normally, when we have our field day, we have growers take a look at all of the first rep in our OVT. We give them a red flag for their top choice and a white flag for their second top choice, and they get to make those selections and tell me why they feel like that line is going to be the top yielding line for this location. Because y'all weren't able to be here, we instead had our graduate student, Taylor Perucker, walk this test and make some choices just based off of looking at the head size and the total number of tillers that we had in each one of these plots. Taylor made 5 selections off of that. He selected Southern Harvest 7200, good resistance to both powdery mildew and leaf rust, again susceptibility to head scab. Pioneer 26R45, which has been a strong line for us. It's been a top yield group in the 2-year table. Good resistance to head scab. AgriMax 481, which again has been in the top yield group in the 2-year table. Seedway 62SR, which was in the top yield group last year. And Progeny Fury, which was also in the top yield group last year. We did some yield estimations off of Taylor's selections, and while they're all above 100 bushel, we actually have a couple of these that have the yield potential genetically to hit 140 bushels. The challenge is going to be the amount of nitrogen we have available to this wheat. We put out 150 units, we have poultry litter ahead, so we have a good amount of nitrogen, but if we look at our nitrogen calculations, we probably only have enough to support 125 bushels per acre out here. That's what we have here at the Union OVT this year. Again, please look on the OVT website, ncovt.com, come end of June, early July for the tables that we'll be releasing. And if you have any questions on either variety selection or any kind of variety characteristics, please don't hesitate to give me a call.